Hello there folks, it is your boy Torpid bringing you a little bit of a video on Greentooth Gorge. I'm lying, it's not a little bit of a video, this is an absolutely ridiculous one. Buckle up. Or don't, in fact, because you'll probably have to go to the toilet whilst watching this. I hope you've got a laptop, not a desktop. Or, you know, really good mobile data on your phone. Shout out to all the boys in Africa watching this one. So, Fear is playing as the Ethereal here, and Tyranid Terror is playing as, can you guess? The Nids. He's doing the thing I hate, going single termers. What is the point? Maybe if you go double ravs? No, what's the point? If you have double ravs, you might as well just go triple homers anyway. I've gone on about it enough. I'm not going to go on about it again. I just don't think a single termer has any value unless you are the Ravener Alpha. Now, Fear is going for quite a different build here. He's also idling his Pathfinders right now, which could be doing some good pew-pew. Pathfinders and Fire Warriors should be able to dispatch these Homers relatively easily. We've got some sort of tracer bug going on here. That's interesting, but these Homers need to retreat. So Tyranid Terror never fought the tower before, doesn't really know how much damage they can output. I don't know what's going on with the Fire Warriors here. Yeah, so he seeded a lot of unnecessary damage there. And Crew are getting absolutely wrecked because they just got specialed by a Hive Tyrant, and that's not very fun for them. Remember that Crew by default only have 60 melee skill. So that were Crew buffed up by the Ethereal with the damage resistance from the toggle and the HP boost from being nearby, but they were getting shot up by crippling poison using Toxic Sacs Termagants. And that's 30% more damage, which is quite a lot of damage coming out of those termers. Obviously, Homer's been in Synapse as well. So really just a terrible trade. I mean, the Ethereal's buffs with his toggle is stronger than Synapse. Synapse is 20% DR. This guy, when his toggle is on, is 15 DR. And then he's giving 20% HP as well, so really good buffs on the Ethereal. But the Ethereal is doing something like 27 melee DPS. This guy does 50 DPS by default. This guy. Who is also idling. Garrison's a bit annoying on this map. Warrior Brood, interesting. I mean, I do think that going for melee Synapse is pretty nice in tier 2, but I'm not sure it's a priority right now. Does he want a Bow Strangler to deal with Garrisons? Maybe. Maybe. We'll have to see. It's annoying that you can't really deal with Garrisons as Tyranids without paying the effective requisition tax that is Spore Mines, and indeed, there we go, Bow Strangler Warrior Brood. That's 50 power, this investment. Pretty damn expensive. The simplest counter to this would be a setup team. Kind of like Noise Marines in that sense. They're a short-ranged weapon that can shut down ranged attacks by suppression. Obviously the Noise Marines do silence instead. So right here, the Hive Tyrant should focus on the Ethereal, who is only... Wait. No, actually, forget that. I forgot the Ethereal is 75 melee skill. So even melee in him, you won't proc the special. Setup team is not really going to cut it, I don't think, against a Hive Tyrant. I think he's going to need Vespid. Setup team normally would counter this quite well, but the ability to follow it with Raveners is pretty easy. Obviously, the Hive Tyrant can get Bioplasma or the Charge War Gear, both of which are pretty good. But Bow Strangler really putting in the work there, suppressing those double Pathfinders, and then the Homers get rid of them. Homers can get on the gens now. Yeah, Crew come out, which is a bit awkward. Interesting, he's got the Invocation of Grace as the Ethereal here. So that's a point-and-click ability that he can put on an allied squad, excluding himself, I believe. But that will boost the speed of the allied squad, as well as give them suppression immunity. So very good to close in on the Bath Strangler Warrior Brood. Wait, what? Why are they retreating? That was obviously a misclick. I guess that was an input lag. Meant to retreat these guys, I'm guessing. Both the players very, very hesitant to get more units, which I'm kind of surprised about. But Fury is nearly tier 2, so he'll be happy with that. How double homers didn't just blob with the Hive Tyrant and the Warriors and just take over the entire Tower Gem farm, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, that's a big flop. I was going to say, how is Tyranid Terror getting to tier 2 first? Very big float from Fear. Beautiful little quill trap there, planted by the Kroot. So that stuns those models, and it also makes them take more range damage. Okay, here we go. Grace, so they're immune to suppression. They proc their melee charge, they've got extra speed. There you go, voila. A bit of a scuppered engagement though, because the Ethereal didn't follow after using it. All the fire casts were far away. So that's pretty awkward. But the Kroot are onto the Warriors now, and they kind of just need to get out of there. Yeah, there's going to be backlash. Armors are really trying to evade it. They need to retreat. Yeah, that's not great. So Tyranid Terror clearly not really understanding how to fight here against the Tau, which makes sense. It's literally the first time he's fought them. But somehow he gets to tier 2 first. I mean, just spam Rippers, to be fair, mate. Just spam Rippers and you'll be good. He's going a Zone Thrope, which actually is pretty good as well. You see, this is the problem, even with the Crippling Poison. One term is never going to do enough damage, and then the melee squad's in melee with you, so what was the point? Not a lot of a point. Bleeding some homers here. And what is Fear going to get in tier 2? That's really the question. I mean, he had a massive float. I think stealth suits are pretty much a no-brainer in all matchups, to be honest, as far as I'm aware, thinking about it off the top of my head. They're going to be very good here. They'll be able to hunt down the Zone Thrope with that burst damage coming out of Infiltration. They do a lot of damage to basically all the Gaunts, because it's just a lot of piercing damage. They'll hurt the Hive Tyrant, be helpful to focus fire him down. The only thing they won't be amazing against is the Bath Strangler Warrior Brood, but still, more burst damage is not bad against them. Bit of a weird brood nest position right in the middle here. Not a lot around. Why can't I click the Ethereal? There we go. Yeah, no other War Gear on him, which is kind of weird. Might have expected some. Has he used the Grace? Yes, he has. There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's a good counter to the Bath Strangler Warrior Brood, there's no doubt about that. Although you could stall it out with the Crippling Poison and disengaging. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, Kroot needs to get out of there. They do have their Kroot Shaper now, but double Harmers, Brood Nest support. Hive Tyrant is too much. But here is the Devilfish. Yeah, Devilfish into Stealth Suits. A logical choice, I think. So will we see Venom Cannon Hive Tyrant, or will we see Venom Brood? Presumably you get the Venom Cannon Hive Tyrant. There's only term against a buff with a Venom Brood. Not really that worth it. Yeah, he's getting it. There you go. Stealth Suits making their presence known. Level 2 on the Kroot. health. Interesting there's not even any Shazwi on the Pathfinders. Even though it's good against the warriors in particular, but also good against the... well, basically everything. It's just a little bit extra damage. Better photon nade as well, though. See, that's what normally happens without the Grace, and you can see how that would be quite effective. So the Grace has proved to be a very good counter. Not a huge misplay there. Definitely a misplay though, losing the warrior squad. Forgotten about the Pathfinders. They're getting out though. Wow, without any model losses. Lucky. And the Devilfish rotates back around. But there is a Venabrood here. There are Rippers. Rippers should go forward. Rippers can snare vehicles with every bite. A lot of idling here. Almost flanked her on the gen farm.
What's our next target?
Hivetown doing a beautiful job tanking. Devilfish is taking forever to kill the Riptide. Entire power farm has now been destroyed. Not really sure how Fear let that happen. Seems he's kind of obsessing with killing the individual units like the Hive Tyrant, but he should have been defending his farm, really. Especially with the Devilfish, that thing should have been over there. And here comes the Zoanthrope, basically all the ranged Tyranids. Zoanthrope, Venoms, Barb Strangler, and Termagants. So again, we need Grace. Where's Grace? Ooh, Crushing Claws, this is big. Ifeo's going to get absolutely devoured. Yeah, there you go, bang. Now he's doing proper damage with this thing, 108 DPS. The Devilfish went down there from the Venabrood's big miss micro from Fear, losing his Ethereal and the Devilfish, goddamn. No Shazwi for Inferno damage on the Pathfinders. No Pulse Rifles for Inferno damage on the Fire Warriors, so... just not really very good against the Warriors. That was a really nice engagement for the crew. They managed to farm a lot of XP. They're level 3 off the back of that. Obviously, Tyranid Terror will be limit testing them quite a bit. Shouldn't have took that melee fight with the Hornless there. It was just not favourable. But yeah, needs more Rippers. I mean, he's fighting 4 range squads at the moment. There's only one melee and a melee hero that isn't really a combatant. There we go, the ambushing stealth suits. Big damage from them things. Warrior Brood should be able to turn around and at least suppress them. They risk losing a model at this point. Yeah. But stealth suits aren't warp spiders, so they can't keep teleporting 5 times in a row. Use their jump 3 times, and that's that. I mean, Fear slightly down on the VPs. There's actually a lot of VPs in this game left, which explains how it goes on so long. But Fear going for tier 3 now. What would you get in tier 3 against this composition? I think you just go for a Hammerhead in spite of the fact they've already killed your Devilfish. The big Ion Cannon AoE damage will be very scary against a Venabrood. And it's big AoE splash damage, so it's good against the Gaunts as well. Warriors are heavy infantry. The only thing it's not good against is the Hero and the Zone. Can they get the zone? Come on, crew. No. They might have been able to, you know. Where are the Fire Warriors? The Fire Warriors are down side capping, interestingly. Bit of an interesting use there of the Fire Warriors, don't you think? Wow, and Ethereal gets slain again. Yeah, it's hard to send him in when he doesn't have the combat armor. And the enemy's got 108 DPS heavy melee crushing claws. I mean, this is the highest DPS weapon in the game, by the way.
Activating support structure.
Over 100 HP is pretty mental on your... Not HP. DPS is pretty mental on your leader. So, like, right here where the Venom Brood's not that useful because you've already killed the vehicle, you should just force melee on the stealth suits. Yeah, stealth suits forcing them off there. Wait! He's got double Venom Broods? Oh no, that has to be an Overwatch mistake, right? No fucking hell he does. I mean, it's not awful. One can get the Death Spitter upgrade, which hard counters the stealth suits, makes them into a proper ranged unit. But it's pretty bad, given that Fear is now tier 3. I wonder if Crisis suits are actually good here. I think Crisis suits in general are a little bit underpowered. They don't seem to do enough damage for their lack of durability compared to the other suits and their absence of healing outside of combat. And of course, unlike all the other suits, they are utterly miserable in melee. You know, even a guardsman or a guardian squad getting into melee Crisis suits is going to be a bad way for them. Well, no other Terminator worries about that because they've all got pretty strong melee attacks with their power fists. And then they last a long time as well because of all the HP and HP regen. Now, I don't know if the crew have really achieved what they needed to in this one. So, going for the upgraded crew plus the Invocation of Grace is about the same amount of power as default Vespid, 35. But they're so slow on approach and they take so much damage approaching. If they get hit by Crippling Poisoning, it's rough.
The Tyranids are claiming a victory point.
Bit surprised they didn't actually grab the Thorax Swarm upgrade on the Warrior Broods. Feels like that's a bit no-brainer. Brainer? No-brainer. Did pick up the improved synapse in tier 2, which is interesting. I mean, map control is slowly turning in favour of the red team, but it's taking its time. It's not ideal. Not sure what the Hormagaunts are planning here. They're not going to be able to take that fight. These guys just level up again. Oh my god, they're going to be level 4. Yeah, these Hormagaunts need to get out. Obviously, a reminder, Tyranid Terror, this is the first game they're fighting Nids. They're fighting Tau as Nids, even. So, you know, they're going to be doing a fair bit of limit testing. So be kind in the comments, guys. Be kind. Not too much armchair, generally. Unless you play, in which case, fair enough. Okay, that was a nice pickup. Feels like Fear kind of needed that to get back onto the map. Then again, the amount of resources that Fear has is kind of insane. I wonder what he's waiting for. It has to be the Riptide at this point. It has to be. I suppose you could say that he expects the enemy is tier 3 and probably getting something like Can effects, and he wants to see that before he confirms his choice. But you could just run a normal Hammerhead around with the Iron Cannon for a long time, and it's very good against infantry. The Railgun obviously is an anti-vehicle threat, but it doesn't take that long to upgrade. Just wait till there is a vehicle, because there might not be, then get it. That's what I'd do. And maybe that's what he is doing. Going for a Riptide. Alright, let's see how the Nids deal with this. To be honest, as a Hive Tyrant, it should be fairly easy. I don't know how I feel about the improved Synapse instead of the Bonded Exoskeleton. It feels bad.
Activating support structure.
Not really seeing a lot of rippers here from Tyranid Terror. Needs to start using some more of them. I know it takes some adjusting too. You confuse what you're even fighting.
Structure activation complete.
But the Riptides basically hard counter. They're hard countered by rippers, so that's what he needs to be doing. What's the zone doing right now? It's bashing its head around a lot, but not actually attacking, it seems. There we go. Retribution just needs to force melee. Thank you.
Zone secured.
You see, he's still using this Thorax Swarm for combat. And he's got a Pathfinder targeting them, Fire Warriors focus firing them, Recruit Tranquilizing them melee. Get the Thorax Swarm and the Desiccated Lava. Make anything nearby take more damage. Why not? And get more speed in your crew. Oh, you worried, bird.
The Firecast's best are here to serve.
This was probably a terrible idea, guys. Trying to cast this game today. I am absolutely knackered. To be honest, I feel like I'm perpetually tired. It's kind of what happens with 24/7 shifts. But anyway, yeah, this is the Riptide, and it's so interesting using the Riptide in 1v1. On the one hand, it's nice that you don't have to repair it, because if you look at... Oh, God. Okay, well, the wall disappeared, so that's something, but he just blasted the wall. If you look at the composition of most players for Tau in 1v1, especially these days, it's very rare that they're going to have more than one Pathfinder. So if you had to repair this guy at 10 HP per second repairs, it would take forever. Now, the funny thing is, Fear actually has 2 of them here, and he's barely upgraded them, so I guess he'd be alright. But if you can imagine in a 3v3, where these Pathfinders are a bit more common, and I've actually seen that Ultra Panda guy loves going triple Pathfinders. I don't know if he still will next patch when Gravity Drones are nerfed, but still. The Riptide is already super tanky. When it activates its shield, it gets 50% damage resistance. 50% damage resistance, along with vehicle armor, 1750 HP, and triple repairs, is insanely tanky. Now, obviously that's still less tanky than a Baneblade, or a Land Raider, or even a Battle Wagon, which does have the mobility. Let's see what the nuke does. 7 HP on the Pathfinders? Oh, lucky, lucky. Very, very lucky. All but the drone are dead. What was I going on about? Fuck knows if I can ever remember. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at Fear's red. Yeah. Yeah, this is... It's definitely one thing that needs to change here. When the Ethereal's globes were designed, I always said that the Ethereal, because he's a support hero, should have better globals than the XV8. Yet somehow at the moment he doesn't. I do like the drone swarm, but the stat line on the actual drones is pretty underpowered. They will get a buff for sure. Then you got the Guardian drone. It only protects against ranged attacks because in the beta testing it seemed like it was OP for it to protect melee because the Ethereal was dominating with Brute and Vespid anyway. But now no one just uses the Guardian drones hardly. Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of, that's a Guardian drone on the crew, isn't it? But it only gives range damage resistance, so it's not huge. I mean, it's okay. It helps against the zone, Termers, Barb Strangler. But here's a Swarm Lord, and you're witnessing the big weakness of the Riptide. It can be tied up. Such a big weakness. Such a big witness. God, guys, this is so bad. You can't word find when you don't have proper sleep. It's so bad. The word finding goes out the window. Unbelievable. Nice EMP grenade. Beautifully landed. Wait. Why is he not moving? Why is this one not moving? Oh my god, big miss micro there. Holy shit, he just stood in front of so much AB. Blasters on the stealth suits. Crew on the warriors. Remember... Wait, does he lose HP from backlash? No, he is a synapse creature, isn't he? Oh, I forgot that you can reinforce off of him as well. That's insane that you reinforce off the Swarm Lord. Reinforcing off your super unit? What the fuck? And he just completely... He just pushes through that entire engagement via the reinforce. That's insane. Look at the bleed as well. Wow.
A fusion generator is under attack.
Tau late game is so mediocre. It is unbelievable. The infantry just fall apart, unfortunately. Needs to shoot the Venom Brood, not the Hive Tyrant. Ah, don't waste the overcharge on him. Just leave him. It's better to have the jump and the shield. Okay, I don't know why the Venom Brood is staying in that long. They just wipe. Brilliant. He's distracted by a nuke. Did the nuke wipe anything? I'm not sure. I didn't see the rosters down bottom. But this is probably a dead Swarm Lord. Oh my god, that blade of flurry. Flurry of blades. Blade of flurry. Ah! Self-suit's path blocking, jumping right in their face. Fucking hell. But the irony is the Riptide can just get tied up. Just tie up the Riptide. How did the Swarm Lord get out alive? Oh my god, is he going to kill the Ethereal too? The Hive Tyrant's going to be able to. Oh no. Fear lost so much. Honestly, the fact that the Riptide can be tied up is pretty rough. God, he misses a lot as well, doesn't he, against infantry? Misses again. Was that the third miss in a row? Yikes. Oh, using the jump. Oh, to try and stop the decap. But it didn't work. You see, in all these engagements here, there would be repairs from this Pathfinder whilst the Riptide's fighting. So you can imagine what would happen in a 3v3. Riptide's just going to be sat there near a contested VP with a lot of Pathfinders constantly healing it from behind, and then it activates its shield for DR. It's even harder to kill. That's a little bit crazy then. But in a 1v1, normally you've only got one Pathfinder. You need the Pathfinder to be doing things like using its combat support abilities or capping the map. And in those instances, they're not repairing the Riptide. So it's nice in a 1v1 that the Riptide can go back to the base and heal. I think it makes the Riptide stronger in 1v1, whilst weaker in 3v3. And that's good, because Tau in general are much stronger in 3v3 than they are in 1v1. Here comes a missile drone, presumably. Okay, we've got the Utilitarian Annihilation rod on the Ethereal, if I can select him. Come on, why is he not letting me? There we go. Given that orbital bombardment, that's very pretty looking. It's due to have the quantity of missiles on it reduced by 33%, which is probably a good thing. It is a little crazy right now. There's a good EMP. He'll jump out from the Riptide, but the Hive Tyrant is right on him. So he still can't shoot. I don't know why he didn't just build a capillary tower over here and get some spawn mines to take out that garrison. The Firecast never seem to survive, it's weird. Okay. Bomber's just run in and instantly retreat. I guess that was a mismicro. Spawn mines on right next to the garrison. Not sure what this is all about. Okay. They might kill this, you know. No. Fine. There's now a Carnifex, and that's getting Thorn back. No, Tyranid Terror feels under pressure, I guess, because he's keeping his Swarmlord out with a lot of lost HP. I know he can restore some of it with a Leech Life ability, but I don't know if this is wise. Fear needs those missile drones. Fear really needs a hammerhead, but he doesn't have the power. Fear actually has only got the requisition point at this point in the entire game. That's the only thing he has. Oh, Swarmlord walks right into the missile drone. Yikes. This is where the stealth suits are very nice to have. Yeah, that was a very bad idea. I don't know why Tyranid Terror just did that. He's throwing. Oh, another nuke. Holy shit. What did that just wipe? Was that Termas? Okay, well, I don't really know if that's worth it, to be honest. Okay. Bang. Okay, so the phone back Carnifex is trying to disengage. Getting chased by Riptide and Stealth Suits. That's a little bit too much for Homers to chew off on their own. I was going to say, please move your Ethereal away, God. You do not want to be dueling with the highest DPS hero in the game with an Ethereal. Carnifex just kills it in one hit. Brilliant. Well done. Excellent. Charging in? Oh my god. That was so stupid. Tyranid Terror, you forgot about the setup team, I guess. I guess he must have done. Yeah, I just think he's dead, surely. Don't know how far across it can shoot, but yeah. The MP. Okay. Well, he's lost it now. That's a bit ridiculous. And he gets another Swarmlord, because Tyranid Terror was never actually bashed.
Our enemies are left with 200 points.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad throw. I don't know why you went so deep into the base. That was a bit crazy. He already had the entire map. Literally the entire map bar the natural wreck point of Fear. Also no Thorax Swarm Warrior Brood. What's that all about? You can see here the single target DPS on the Riptide not very good. But still not a lot of Rippers from the Tyranids. You can tie this thing up with Rippers. Do it now. You really should be. Not enough infantry right now for Tyranid Terror. He can't do anything really to take the map. Oh my god, level 10 Hive Tyrant, what the fuck? Level 10. Damn. Absolutely wrecking those crew. Now I'm gonna rip the Riptide to pieces. Is the Hive Tyrant. Yeah, god, I'm done for casting today after this. Jesus Christ, it was very optimistic to cast such a long game. I'm afraid my mental faculties are not here today. I do apologise, guys. It's hard. It's hard. Trying to maintain a YouTube schedule, even though my real life is so chaotic. My brain can't even think. Can't even word find. You'd think I'm like a demented 76-year-old. Well, apparently that's what it's like when you don't sleep right multiple days in a row. Tifree Lictor, Ripper Swarms coming out, but gonna be kind of sacrificed. The thing is, the Ripper Swarms can reinforce super duper cheap off the Swarm Lord, so you should definitely keep them in play. Yeah, free breath. I remember when it was no wreck to reinforce the Rippers. Or practically no wreck. It might have been 1 or 2 instead of 3. And you would just go crazy with the Rippers next to the Swarm Lord. I feel like the Hive Tank should have tied up the setup team instead. Now that thing's been shooting the Swarm Lord the entire time. Seems a bit silly. Now the Riptide can come in and flank. Yeah. Where's the Lictor? Okay, he's at the natural for some reason. He should be attacking over there. 50% bonus cap speed on the Lictor. Yikes. What is the zone throw doing here? Oh god. It's a disaster. It's a Tyranid disaster, I'm afraid. The damage on this tier 3 Lictor. Jeez. Not sure what the Riptide was doing here. Oh, I see. Trying to snipe the Swarm Lord. It looks like it will die to the barrage, probably. Probably? Wow, really not doing a lot of damage. What the fuck? Brute Shaper, finish it off. There you go. Hilarious. And a third Swarm Lord. What? This is insane. Look at Fear as well. Why isn't he spamming Guardian drones? Just spam them. Every engagement. Obviously, Tranquility is a bit harder to use and definitely isn't underpowered. Global. That'll get some buffs. Probably just cheaper red cost and faster ability activation with the wind-up being too long at the moment. Unlike the Gravity Drone, whose wind-up is definitely too small. The other thing that's crazy about the Gravity Drone is that there is no... which I find bonkers. So you're just running around one Pathfinder with Gravity Drone and something jumps you wait the 5 seconds or whatever, and you Gravity Drone your feet and send the thing flying in all directions. It's so dumb. But yeah, the tower just fielding more and more units. I mean, actually Tyranid Terror is putting on a lot of VP pressure now that I'm looking at it. But he shouldn't be able to take this, surely? Oh god, maybe he will. Without number calling in another Hormigón and Termagant squad. They're just gonna kill the Kappas, right? But I'm gonna cap here. Crutox now as well. Tower really just not bleeding. Crutox and Crew buffed up by the Ethereal. I don't know why he's bashing this with stealth suits. Just go for the farm already, for God's sake. Just infiltrate and get the decap on the natural. That would be very, very big. Well, now the stealth suits are needed elsewhere to kill this thing. The leech life will be huge. Should have waited to snare with the missiles first, then shot the EMP so it actually landed. There goes the Lictor to the natural of Fear. Yeah, the missile drone's been firing for ages. Nothing to tie it up. Inexcusable, really, because there should be Rippers to do that job. Big Swarm Lord himself shouldn't have to go. Eventually we did get the full upgrades for the Pathfinders, Shazwi present. Let's bleed, I guess. Neuro throw. Interesting. No bonded exoskeleton. But again, he's walking the Swarm Lord right up into missile drones. What the hell is he doing? No rippers, no zoning. He's using the heal over time, but I just don't know what the point of this is. Yeah, wrecked. So greedy. Nope. Crutox CCing that Lictor. Gravity drones flinging them off the point. Looks like it will be a Tau win, but down to 16 VPs. Jesus, Tau made a bit of a meal out of this one.
My Crutox is being attacked.
Similarly though, really it was a Nid throw. The way they used their initial Swarm Lord and Carnifex was not great. Wow, he lived. What the fuck? There is literally a Crutox in the Tyranid base right now. There we go.
The point you wanted, it is all yours. Fields down.
Why could they not have got the decap there? Seems strange.
Recon ready.
And why is he moving away from the middle, exactly?
Duty.
He's probably going to drop a barrage here. But, yeah. Nero can fairly confidently move in and take that. Okay. Just walking right into it, brilliant. Now we're Hammerhead for Tau? Wow. That Lictor did get on the side. Ah, they couldn't get the decap here though. So he's not even draining VPs. Lictor needs to cap. Oh god. Ah no, the Lictor's not capping, the Neurothorpe goes down, I think that's GG. I don't know how this game went on as long as it did. It's been pretty crazy. But yeah, first time that Tyranid Terror ever thought Tau and Fear. He's played probably over 50 games with Tau at this point, to be honest. So certainly says something. There's a nuke just to deny the Hive Tyrant. He's swapping to Bonded Exoskeleton for invulnerability. But apparently doesn't have the energy for it. No, he does. It's just it is active. Wow. I mean, you can fool them once with the mindless Bonded Exo charge, invulnerability onto the main VP, Lictor, infiltrate, grab the back VP, but eventually the enemy's going to wise to it, leaving detectors over here. Nah, there's no way, surely. Crew cap this, and it should be GG. I do find it amusing that Fear never bothered to cap and replace his lost gens. He just didn't care. Again, no Thorax Swarm in spite of keeping the Bow Strangler, so that could have been a lovely electroshock rub, but can he get the decap? That extra fast capping speed means he might. He does. Wow. And Hive Tyrant's mindlessly going for the mid again. Yeah, it's mindless. He gets the decap, but he can't win the fight, so it takes too long to get the cap. Yeah. He's going to bleed the VPs even further. Because now there's a 2-0, 1-0 even. But yeah, then he gets it back, and then that's it. Tyranid Terror lost everything as soon as he captured this mid. It is GG. Bit of a ridiculous game. Crazy. Needed more Rippers. Needed to not throw away the initial Swarm Lord and counter effects. And Termagant, single Termagant in the other game, completely pointless. Just don't do it. Unless you're the Ravner Alpha. It was Hive Tyrant Elixir Alpha, completely pointless. Don't bother. Learn how to melee. That's all I can say. I do apologize for the terrible casting. I am gonna go have a nap. Thanks for tuning in, folks. That was crazy. Tyranids versus Tau. I might even see how many units died at the end of this one. Let's find out. Boom, boom, boom. Loading. Oh my god, holy shit. Okay. Okay. Torpid signing out.